Hey guys, it's Dr. Tim Harrigan. I wanted to discuss with you blood pressure today, a very misunderstood diagnostic process, right? That most of us go to the doctor, they check our blood pressure that day, and then they may say I have normal or high blood pressure. Well, there's a few problems with that scenario, okay? I won't even look at my own blood pressure unless you take several averages in a very controlled environment, okay? So a couple misconceptions. Saying that high blood pressure is bad for me is kind of silly. Or every time I exercised really hard and my blood pressure went up, which it's supposed to, I would have a problem, right? So saying high blood pressure is bad is not really accurate. Now, I don't want sustained high blood pressure while I've been resting for a while. That's how we're gonna teach you to take a good blood pressure average. This is how I check my own. It's the resting blood pressure that we're worried about. The 120/80 measurement that they compare us to, the 80 is the resting measurement, and then the 120 is when the heart contracts, okay? So whenever you move around, if I get up or if I'm stressed in an office, a doctor's office, you're gonna have a little bit higher blood pressure, and that's normal. If I go and I walk across the room and come back over here, I'm gonna have a little bit higher blood pressure. We all know that we can raise our heart rate quite a bit when we exercise really hard as well. High blood pressure in itself isn't the problem. It's the resting blood pressure that we don't want super high for long periods of time, especially if you have fragile arteries. So if you do have high blood pressure and you do have healthy arteries, more than likely you're not gonna have a problem anyway, right? So here's how we take blood pressure. That resting pressure of 80, the only way that I will look at that is if we take 9 different measurements, okay? And get a really good blood pressure cuff, by the way. I like a company called Omron. You can get those on Amazon. Any type of Omron upper arm cuff that's probably $60 or more is gonna be sufficient. Now, keep the batteries fresh in that though. I would actually change the batteries out every quarter, if not every 6 months, okay? So we want a nice, fresh, accurate blood pressure cuff. You're gonna have a pen and paper next to you, and basically, you're gonna pick 3 evenings. So let's just say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening. 3 days, 3 different measurements per day. That's 9 measurements, okay? Then we're gonna take an average of that. So when you sit down, let's say Friday night, and you start taking these measurements, I want you to sit down and relax. You're on a couch watching a funny movie, or you're doing crossword puzzles, whatever you enjoy doing, but away from your busy day, when you're kind of relaxed in the evening, and you're gonna have your blood pressure cuff next to you and a pen and paper. So what you wanna do is after you've been sitting and relaxing for 30 minutes only. Now, if I get up and go to the bathroom, 20 minutes into it, when I come and sit back down, I need to, again, spend another 30 minutes relaxing. So you have to start over, okay? So after those 30 minutes of relaxing, I'm gonna put the blood pressure cuff on my arm, maybe put a pillow on your lap so that you can have your arm kind of resting up like this so that it's about heart level, okay? So when you have the cuff on, 30 minutes later, we take one measurement. That very first measurement, I'm gonna write it down. Let's say it's 125/85. That's perfect. Now I want you to just kind of relax another 3 to 10 minutes after that first measurement, after you've been resting for 30 minutes, okay? So after about 3 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna take it again. I'm gonna take a second blood pressure reading that night, and let's say it's 126/86. So then 3 to 10 minutes after that second one, I'm gonna take a third measurement. So Friday evening, I now have 3 different measurements. I'm done, I put all this away, I wait till tomorrow night. Saturday night comes along, and I'm away from my busy day. It's the evening around the same time that I did on Friday, and I'm literally just gonna do the same thing. 30 minutes seated, take a measurement, write it down. 3 to 10 minutes later, take a second, and then a third one after that. Then do that again Sunday night as well. So it doesn't matter what days of the week you do it, just keep it consistent. So if I do that Friday, Saturday, Sunday this time, if I want to check it again in a month from now, if I'm doing certain things that are going to help my blood pressure, exercising, taking supplements or whatever, then I want to keep it on those same days so it's consistent. I won't even look at somebody's blood pressure if it's not in this structured way, because it's pointless information. Your blood pressure literally changes every 30 seconds. If I get up and again walk to the bathroom right now, it's gonna go up a little bit. Obviously, I don't wanna take my blood pressure, and if it's elevated, say that I have high blood pressure, right? That doesn't make any sense. So getting these 9 measurements over those 3 different evenings, it's just a great way for you to keep track of your blood pressure so that if it does start going up or down over time, you're gonna be aware of that. And so now that I have those 9 measurements, so what we're gonna do now is take an average of the top 9, and then we're gonna take an average of the bottom 9. So what I'll do is with the top 9, I'm gonna add up all of those diastolic or systolic numbers, okay, whichever one you're looking at, the top or the bottom, add all the top numbers together and then divide that by 9. That's gonna be what your average top number is, okay? So now I'm gonna add up all the bottom numbers, right? 85, 83, whatever those are, add up all 9 and then divide that by 9. That's your average of the lower number. So now we have an average of 9 different measurements. We have an average diastolic and an average systolic, that's the number we're concerned about. The average of all 9 of those different measurements on 3 different evenings. Thanks, guys.